running the world? Natural cures they don't want us to know about? Subliminal advertising in my favorite TV shows, and oh my God, Paul McCartney really died in 1966. The truth finally revealed. Wow, I think I grabbed the wrong magazine this morning. I mean, these aren't really the kind of tabloids that we look for on the newsstands, because we don't consider them world news that we need to know. Many would say that they're just a clever endeavor to lure an audience. But outlandish as these tales sound, could it be possible that they are indeed factual and should be examined more seriously? Whatever the case may be, the fact can't be ignored that some of them have been proven to be true, while others simply remain conspiracy theories. And let's face it, these things are just too mysterious to be ignored. So let's expose how conspiracy theories have schemed their way through history. We'll conspire with the minds that have brought us a few of the best-known conspiracy theories. We'll examine some of the craziest assumptions out there. And finally, we'll speculate on why people have such an interest in this bizarre topic. Before we can talk about the history of conspiracy theories, we need to know exactly how a conspiracy theory is defined. Webster's dictionary describes a conspiracy as a planning or acting together secretly for an unlawful or harmful purpose, and a theory as a systemic statement of principles involved. Put them together and you get something like this: an idea or statement concerning a secret plot that may have a harmful purpose. Throughout history, there have been countless theories of this nature, but not always known under the umbrella term conspiracy theory. This idiom is a fairly new topic, developed in recent years for lack of a better name. History's labels such as witchery, heresy, and simple paranoia just didn't seem to stick. Though the historians have found it difficult to trace the origins of conspiracy theories because they are so widespread. They are believed to have originated with the Knights Templar and Freemasons during the time of the Crusades. Throughout the period of Enlightenment, people began to question the facts that simply did not fit. From that point on, doubt and suspicion have altered the ideas and discoveries of the human world. We have found that it is in our nature to question what we are told, no matter how practical it may seem. Throughout history, there have only been a few conspiracy theories that were so profound, they are still discussed today. The most common is without a doubt the JFK assassination. Since November 22, 1963, numerous theories have surfaced concerning who was involved, why it happened, who was actually behind the shooting, and even other unusual details, such as why JFK's coffin was different when he arrived in Washington, D.C. than it was when it left Houston. So here is what we think we know. Lee Harvey Oswald, the suspected shooter, acted alone. All shots were fired from the same position in the Texas School Book Depository, and a single shot caused 7 different wounds between 2 different victims. After an extensive investigation, it was concluded by the Warren Commission that all of these things were true. However, conspiracy theorists have studied the same facts and come to different conclusions. While some of them are quite outlandish, such as Cuban involvement and the KGB, others seem more possible. Could it be true that the mafia was really involved? Or did Kennedy's own government turn on him? If Oswald acted alone, why was he shot 2 days after the events in Dallas? And what about the Zapruder film? If all shots were fired from the same position, why did the second propel Kennedy's body sideways instead of forward like the first? And could a high-powered rifle of the time truly cause 7 different bullet wounds? I know I'm throwing more questions at you than I'm answering, but that's the problem. With all this speculation and conspiracy surrounding President John F. Kennedy's death, only one thing remains certain. President Kennedy was definitely killed in Dallas on November 22nd, 1963. Oddly enough, this is not the only conspiracy theory that President Kennedy is involved with. In 1961, he was responsible for the beginning of the space race. NASA and the US put the first man on the moon. Or did they? Again, here's what we think we know. In 1969, a group of astronauts blasted off of the moon and filmed the first walk on the lunar surface. They planted the American flag and left the legendary footprints in the dust. Skeptics claim it to be a hoax, that Hollywood had far more technology to create a lunar landing on a soundstage than NASA actually possessed to send people to the moon and back. Here's their logic. In the film, the flag appears to be waving, but how can that be possible with no wind? How can the footprint hold with no moisture, and why are there no stars in NASA's sky? The rebuttal? NASA states that in the film, the flag only moves due to the momentum created by the astronaut for a visual effect, and the footprint holds not because of moisture, but because of the vacuum of space. As for the stars, NASA claims that the reflective suits worn by the astronauts were far brighter than the stars in the background, and that's why they're not visible on film or in the photos. So, are you a believer or a theorist? Before you decide, you might want to take this into account. When theorist Bart Sibrel called Buzz Aldrin a coward and a liar for faking the lunar landing, the then 72-year-old astronaut punched him in the jaw. For that man, a strong right hook was all he needed to be convinced. With all this talk of presidential assassinations, lunar landings, and cover-ups, your mind might be going kind of crazy right about now. But I'm not quite finished yet. Today, you can find some sort of conspiracy theory on almost anything, anywhere. Take these, for example. Would you believe me if I told you that AIDS is a man-made disease? Princess Di was actually murdered? What about Jewish control over the stock market? How about things that really affected our day-to-day lives, like subliminal advertising, or pharmaceutical companies that are hiding cures? Or maybe you'd be concerned to know that lizard people are running the world, and there are aliens living in Roswell, New Mexico. These are just a few of the millions of conspiracy theories that exist today. More recent topics include the skepticism surrounding 9/11. People have begun to wonder why the towers actually fell and who was behind the destruction. While most people have no doubt in their mind that it really was a terrorist attack, others are not so sure. Just a fair warning, you might want to prepare yourselves, for once you have the theory, the truth might not be so easy to find. So, why is the world so taken in by the idea of a good conspiracy? Well, the fact might be that they're not just small news anymore. In almost every part of the world, people are looking for things to question. Today, there are over 1,000 books in existence just about the idea itself. Conspiracy theories have become so popular, they can be found in movies, magazines, and of course, all over the internet. Many say that it's just the sheer excitement and thrill of a good mystery, or they're just looking for something to talk about. Studies have shown that there are actually people out there who are so paranoid, they'll typically believe any theory that's thrown at them, whether they want to or not. Whatever the fact may be, they can make even the most logical minds think twice. Conspiracy theories, more often than not, arise when dramatic events occur. Facts are presented to provide an explanation for a basic question. However, your answers will always vary depending on a person's point of view. But one thing does remain certain. A conspiracy theory will only arise when someone notices that the explanations given do not fit the facts. With so many answers to the same question, how do we know when truth is really truth? I don't know about you, but I'm leaving that one for the tabloids.